Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone can hear me. And welcome today. Just want to make a security announcement. In the very unlikely event that we should need to evacuate this room, an announcement will be made from here. And then please leave as quickly as you can by the various exits. One over there, in fact, two over there, one behind you and one going down there. And we meet in the car park of the Methodist Church over there. Please don't bother about picking up belongings, but make your way there as quickly as you can. Can you also please make sure that your mobile phones are switched off for the service? There is no photography to be made during the service, and we'd be very grateful if you'd return your books to outside at the end of the service. So thank you very much.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome to all of you. For those of you who are here for the first time in a synagogue or for a liberal Jewish service, then welcome. I hope that you'll have lots of questions for me afterwards, and please don't be worried about coming up and asking them, because you may think that they may sound a bit silly, but I'm sure lots of people around you will want to know the answers as well. After the service as well, we'll take a little bit of time. We're going to go next door to conclude our ceremonies, but straight afterwards, Benji and I will come back in here and open up the ark that you'll see later on in the service, and have a look at the Torah scroll that Benji will read from, just in case you're interested and would like to learn a little bit more about the incredible feat that he goes through to get to his bar mitzvah service. We begin our service not on page 69, that's the evening services still, on page 105. Page 105, and please rise. As you can hear, we've got a fantastic members' choir to help us through the service, but it is not their only purpose. The purpose of you being here is to join in as much as you can. You may have theological questions after the service. Ask me afterwards, but join in with the readings, please. And if Hebrew is not a common language to you, please do not worry about it. If Hebrew is a little bit challenging, we'll get to some parts where you'll be able to sing with us as well. Hum along, la along, whatever you like, but add your voices to this service so we make it an incredible experience for us all. So at the foot of the page, we read together, as we say the prayers of our ancestors, help us, O God, to remember their faith and devotion, their joy and suffering, and make us worthy of our heritage. The traditions we have received live in us and pass from us to generations we shall never know, enriched by the truth we have found and the good we have done. So may we fulfill our task on earth and receive our blessing. Yehi ratzon milfanech Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu. Eternal God, school us in your teachings and make us loyal to your commandments. May we never consent to evil or surrender to temptation or self-contempt. Help us to rise above selfishness and make us responsive to the voice of conscience. Direct our every impulse to your service. Today and every day may we merit kindness and compassion in your sight and in the sight of all who behold us, and let us know your love. We praise you, O God, for the love you daily show us. To page 107. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Baruch hu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Hamchulal b'fi amo. Meshubach umfo'ah bilshon chasidav v'avadav. Bishvachot uvizmirot. L'gadel lecha v'namlichecha. Malkeinu yachid chei ha'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai. Melech muhulal. Batishbachot. Our ancient rabbis who put together these prayer services knew that it was pretty difficult to walk in off the street straight into a place of prayer and suddenly have a great wow moment and a spiritual experience. So they tried to help us by including some different steps within the service to help us towards such an experience. So now we start off in a few moments with some spiritual exercises. We use the Psalms, and as you will see where it is in italics, we read responsively. So I hope we're going to be able to feel as we do read through these in English, don't worry, not in Hebrew, this toing and froing and begin to exercise our souls just as we might exercise our bodies. And if you want to wiggle your bodies around a little bit as well to get yourself into the mood, then please feel free. We begin, though, setting the scene by singing these words. Happy are those who dwell in your house, who are ever singing your praise. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yehallelujah Od Yehallelujah. The words are very simple, so you may be able to pick them up as well. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yehallelujah Od Yehallelujah. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Happy are those who dwell in your house. Happy the people on whom such blessing falls. Always I will exalt you, my sovereign God. Beginning each day with praise. Cause us to see your greatness is beyond us. Declaring your works to each generation. Even as they speak of your splendor. For as they tell of your awesome might, great is your goodness which they celebrate, holding us in your grace and compassion. In your goodness, eternal God, joyfully your works shall thank you, knowing how great is your majesty. Let all humanity perceive your power. Mighty is your rule and everlasting. O God, you support the falling. Pleading all look in hope to you. Quietly you open your hand. Righteous are you in all your ways. So near are you to all who call upon you. The desire of those who revere you, you fulfill. Unceasingly our lips shall sing God's praise. To page 135, page 135, and please rise. And together, praise be your name, eternal God in heaven and on earth. To you, our God and our God of our ancestors, let hymns and psalms be sung. To you all praise and thanks are due from now and forever. We praise you, O God. May you accept our songs of praise. And this is something you can all sing. Nine, 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 And still, having done our exercises, it's great to begin our journey by one of the easiest ways that we may understand something divine in our life. Just think back to the last time you saw the most incredible sight in nature. You were lost for words. Instead of describing it, you just said, "Oh my God." So let's read together with that image in our minds at the top of page 136. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, Maker of light and Creator of darkness, Author of peace and Creator of all things. In your mercy you give light to the earth and all who live on it. And in your goodness you renew creation continually, day by day. How manifold are your works, O God. With wisdom have you made them all. The world is full of your creations. Your handiwork proclaims your praise. Radiant stars bear witness to you. We praise you, O God, Creator of light. Ahava rabba ahavtanu Adonai Eloheinu. Chemla gedola v'terach hamalta aleinu. Avinu malkeinu. Va'avor avotenu shabatuchu v'cha. V'atlamdem chukei chaim. Kein tochonenu tlamdenu. V'tein b'libenu lahavinu lahaskil. Lishmoa lilmod ulalmeid. Lishmoa v'lasot ulkayem et kol divrei toratecha be'achava. V'ha enenu b'toratecha. V'dabeik libenu b'mitzvotecha. V'yached levavenu le'achava u'lira et shemecha. Ivanu v'chata al-yachedecha be'achava. Baruch ata Adonai, abocher ba'amo Yisrael be'achava. Please rise.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai, Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod Malchuto. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai, Echad.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol ma'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi metzavecha hayom, al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha v'aderech, u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshautam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, u'ktabtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'vish. Please be seated. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohim. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohim. Lamantis Geruba. Yatsi v'yashar. Good and beautiful and true, sound, established and enduring are these words, now and forever. True it is, Eternal One, that you are our sovereign God and Redeemer, as you are the God and Redeemer of our ancestors. You are our Maker, the rock of our salvation. We have known you always as our helper and our liberator. There is no God but you. Truly you are first and you are last. We have no Redeemer but you. You redeemed us from Egypt and freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song. Mi chamocha belim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot osem. A new song the redeemed sang to your name at the shore of the sea. With one accord they gave thanks and proclaimed your sovereignty. Adonai yimloch leolam ba'ed, Zu Yisrael, Uma Bezrat Yisrael, Go'aleinu Adonai, Zemo Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael, Gal Yisrael, Yisrael. Please rise as we get to the central part of our service. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufiati tekilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufiati tekilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that thy mouth shall declare your praise. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth shall declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imachot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Hozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Machayei Meitim atah Rab le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'Morid hageshem, Mazriach hashemesh u'Morid ha'atah. Atah lahachayot meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, Machayei haMeitim. We sanctify your name on earth, as in the prophet's vision the hosts of heaven sing your praise above, for so it is written. Kadosh, 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 Kadosh Adonai Zebaoth. Melech al haaretz kavodo. God's glory fills the universe. Baruch kavod Adonai bimkomo. Baruch kavod Adonai bimkomo. From your concealment, majestic one, reveal yourself and rule over us, for you are our hope. Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohim Zidon, Ledovado, Alleluia. From generation to generation, we will make known your greatness. To the end of time, we will proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O our God, shall never depart from our lips. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God. Please be seated. Yismachuba Malchutcha, Yismachuba Malchutcha, Shomarei Shabbat, V'korei Honeg, Amkadshei Shavi'i, Amkadshei Shavi'i, Kulam Yisbahu, V'yitanagu Mituvecha, V'hashivi Ratzita Bo, V'kidash Toho, V'hashivi Ratzita Bo, V'kidash Toho, Chem Dat Yamim, Oto Karata, Zecher L'maaseh Bereshit. The middle of page 143 we read together. Our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Eternal One, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Eternal God, be gracious to your people Israel, and in your love accept their prayers. May our worship now and always be acceptable in your sight. We praise you, O God, whom alone we worship in reverence. And we continue, Modim anachnu lach, sha'atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Abotenu le'olam ba'eh. Sur chayenu magenu shenu, atahu l'dor v'ador. Nodeh lecha u'nusaper tehilatecha, al chayenu hamasurim biyadecha, v'al nishmotenu habakorot lach, v'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu, v'al niflotecha v'tovotecha, shebachol eit erev v'voker b'tzoharayim. Baruch ata Adonai, atov shimcha, u'lacha na'eh l'chodot. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uveracha, en v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Sim shalom. shalom, sim shalom, tova uveracha.
בטוב עיניך לברד את עמך ישראל ואת כל העמים בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך בכל עת בשלומך
Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uveracha. Ben v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Sim shalom, shalom, sim shalom.
ברוך אתה אדוני עושה
Ratzon imrefi, egion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri v'goali. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock, our redeemer. Oh, say shalom imromah. Oh, yeah, say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol bnei Adam. Oh, say shalom imromah. Oh, yeah, say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, amen. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. May the Most High, source of perfect peace, grant peace to us, to all Israel, to all humanity, and from this sacred space into our weeks ahead. We now turn to our Torah service on page 481. Page 481. There is none like you, Eternal One, among the gods people worship, and there are no deeds like yours. Your sovereignty is everlasting. Your reign endures from age to age. Would you please rise?
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך. אדוני מלך,
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד.
Gadlu l'Adonai ti, and Aromamo Shemo Yakdav, let us magnify the Eternal One. Together, let us exalt God's name. Please be seated.
In the presence of this congregation, which represents the Jewish people all over the world, I give thanks for what I have learned of my Jewish heritage and promise to go on studying it in the years ahead. So, may I come to understand ever more deeply and carry out more fully the duties that flow from it. I think of all those who, in past ages, have preserved the Jewish faith and declared their loyalty to it as I do today. I thank my parents and my family, my teachers and my friends, and all who have helped me to reach this day. And I pray to God, guide me and keep me strong, so that I may fulfill the high hopes that rest on me. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehekianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, that you have kept us alive, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this season.
Amen.
Today, I will be reading from the Kolin scroll. Kolin is a small town near Prague. The history of Kolin made me feel very sad. Many Jews fled to Kolin to escape the Nazis, but their safety was short-lived, as the Nazis expelled the Jews of Kolin and sent them to a ghetto in Terezin, and then on to concentration camps. I have been learning all about the Holocaust in my Hader lessons, and I feel honoured to read from this scroll as a memorial to the Jews of this town who died. My Torah portion is Deuteronomy 14, verses 3 to 21. It is about the kashrut laws and the different animals we can and cannot eat. Kashrut means laws relating to approved Jewish diet. The word kosher means proper or fit. I will be translating as I read the Hebrew.
And for those congregants who are confused because we're traditionally at the end of the book of Leviticus, apart from a few changes, This portion is very appropriate, and we did quite a lot of study to work out what would work for within Benji's family. And for all of his friends as well. And as you will hear later on, hopefully everything will become clear, but if you're unsure as well, you might want a little guide to follow through. I didn't know some of the things and some of the animals which are referred to. So Benji has done a whole course of study together with his parents and family around this Torah portion, and you might like to have that alongside you as Benji reads from the Torah.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu Melech Ha'olam, Asher Bahabanu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah. Amen.
Amen.
Lo tochal kol to'eva. Zot habohema asher tochelu. Shor sei chasavim v'sei izim. Ayal ut vi vichmur. V'ako v'dishon uto v'zameh. V'chol behema mafreset parasa. V'shosaat shesa shetei farasot. Ma'alat geira. Babahema ata tochelu. You shall not eat anything abhorrent. These are the animals that you may eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roebuck, the wild goat, the ibex, and the antelope, the mountain sheep, and any other animals that has true hooves which are cleft in two and brings up the cud. Such you may eat. Ach et ze lo tochelu mima'alei hagera umimafrisei haparasa hashsua et hagamal ve'et ha'anavet ve'et hashafan ki ma'alei geira hema v'parasa lo hifrisu tmeim heim lachem ve'et hahazia ki mafris parasa hu v'lo geira tamei hu lachem Mibsaram lo tochelu, uvnivlatam lo tiga'u. But the following, which do bring up the cud or have true hooves which are cleft through, you may not eat: the camel, the hare, and the daemon. For although they bring up the cud, they have no true hooves. They are impure for you. Also the swine, for although it has true hooves, it does not bring up the cud, is impure for you. You shall not eat of their flesh, or touch their carcasses. Et ze tochelu, mikol asher bamayim, kol asher lo sinapir v'kaskeset tochelu, v'chol asher ein lo sinapir v'kaskeset lo tochelu, tamei hu lachem. These you may eat of all that live in water. You may eat anything that has fins and scales, but you may not eat anything that has no fins and scales. It is impure for you. Kol tzipor tehora tochelu, v'zeh asher lo tochelu mehem hanaseh, v'haperes v'ha'azniya, v'hara'a v'et ha'aya v'hadaya lemina, v'et kol orev lemino, v'et bat haya'ana, v'et hatachmas, v'et hanet leminei, V'tashahaf. V'et hanetz luminehu. Et hakos v'et hayanshuf v'hatin shamet. V'haka'at v'et harahama v'et hashalach. V'hahasida v'ha'anafa lamina. V'hadu kifat v'ha'at halef. You may eat any pure bird. The following you may not eat: the eagle, the vulture, and the black vulture, the kite, the falcon, and the buzzard of any variety, every variety of raven, the ostrich, the nighthawk, the seagull, and the hawk of any variety, the little owl, the great owl, and the white owl, the pelican, the bustard, and the cormorant, the stork, any variety of heron, the hoopoe, and the bat. V'chol sheret ha'of tamei hu lachem, lo yeyachelu. Kol of tahor tochelu. All winged swarming things are impure for you. They may not be eaten. You may eat only pure winged creatures. Lo tochelu kol nevela lager asher bishareya titanena. Va'achala or machor lenachri ki am kadosh ata ladonai. Eloheha lo tuvashel gedi bahalev imo. You shall not eat anything that has died a natural death. Give it to the stranger in your community to eat, or you may sell it to a foreigner. For you are a people consecrated to the eternal your God. You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk.
That's a goat, by the way.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam nata b'tuchenu. Baruch atah Adonai, notein haTorah. Amen.
Amen. Please rise. Please be seated.
The Haftarah portion is taken from the book of Daniel. It links with my Torah portion as it describes the time when Daniel rejected food offered to him by the king. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hana'emerim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher b'Torah, uv'Moshe avdo, uv'Yisrael amo, uv'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Jehoiakim of Judah, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came to Jerusalem and laid siege to it.
You're okay.
The Lord delivered King Jehoiakim of Judah into his power, together with some of the vessels of the house of his God, and he brought them to the land of Shinar, to the house of his God. He deposited the vessels in the treasury of his God. Then the king ordered Ashpenaz, his chief officer, to bring some Israelites of royal descent and of the nobility, youth without blemish, handsome, proficient in all wisdom, knowledgeable and intelligent, and capable of serving in the royal palace, and teach them the writings and the language of the Chaldeans. The king allotted daily rations to them from the king's food and from the wine he drank. They were to be educated for 3 years, at the end of which they were to enter the king's service. Among them were the Judahites, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the king's food or the wine he drank, so he sought permission of the chief officer not to defile himself. And God disposed the chief officer to be kind and compassionate towards Daniel. The chief officer said to Daniel, I fear that my lord the king, who allotted food and drink to you, will notice that you look out of sorts, unlike the other youths of your age, and you will put my life in jeopardy with the king. Daniel replied to the guard whom the chief officer had put in charge of Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, Please, test your servants for 10 days, giving us legumes to eat and water to drink. Then compare our appearance with that of the youths who eat of the king's food, and do with your servants as you see fit. He agreed to this plan of theirs and tested them for 10 days. When the 10 days were over, they looked better and healthier than all the youths who were eating of the king's food. So the guard kept on removing their food and the wine they were supposed to drink and gave them legumes. God made all 4 of these young men intelligent and proficient in all writings and wisdom, and Daniel had understanding of visions and dreams of all kinds. When the time the king had set for their presentation had come, the chief officer presented them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king spoke with them, and of them all none was equal to Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. So these entered the king's service. Whenever the king put a question to them requiring wisdom and understanding, he found them to be 10 times better than all the magicians and exorcists throughout his realm. Daniel was there until the 1st year of King Cyrus. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, tzor kol ha'olamim, tzaddik b'chol hadorot, ha'el ha'eneman, ha'omer ve'oseh, ha'medaber u'mekiyem, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek. Al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnuha, l'chavod u'letiferet. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, umvarachim otah, yitbarach shimcha b'fi kol hai, tamid le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai makadesh hashabbat. Amen. As you have just heard, my Torah portion and Haftarah are both concerned with the kashrut laws and food etiquette. This has encouraged me to think about my attitude towards food. In my Torah portion, it lists the different animals we can and cannot eat. There have been many interpretations about why we do not eat certain foods. Some of these interpretations suggest medical reasons. Others suggest that denial encourages holy thought and practice, and others that keeping kosher preserves the Jewish community. Moses Maimonides, who was a Jewish physician and scholar, believed that the kashrut laws guided people to only eat what was healthy for the body. However, other interpreters, such as Arama, disagreed, saying that many foods that were forbidden were not dangerous to humans at all, and that the Torah should not be seen as a medical text. It is clear, however, that we should protect the body as we are made in God's image, and therefore the body is holy. Personally, I feel that by keeping kosher, Jews preserve their identity, values, and tradition. It ensures the survival of the Jewish culture and strengthens the community. Some foods that I eat make me have a connection with Judaism because that is the food that other Jews eat. Challah bread and fish balls are some of the foods that I associate with being Jewish and being part of a community. Being Jewish also means eating meals with my family when we celebrate festivals and enjoy the food associated with these celebrations. My diet is not based around Jewish laws. I believe that it is healthier to eat animals that are fed good food and have large enclosures with space to roam. I have to be careful with what I eat because it keeps me healthy. If I eat too much sugar, then I feel faint, or if I eat too much meat, then I have stomach aches. Studies have shown that processed meat can cause illnesses, so that is why I limit the amount of meat I eat. In the future, I will probably control my food intake a lot more, due to the fact I will want to be more healthy. In my Haftarah, it tells the story of a man called Daniel, who refused the food offered to him by the king. We do not know why Daniel refused the food. It could have been it was meat, and he was a vegetarian, or it was non-kosher, and he was kosher. Whatever the food was, though, Daniel felt that it would pollute his body, so he refused it. Like Daniel, it is important for us all to think about whether the food we are eating is polluting our bodies. It is our responsibility to keep ourselves healthy. Personally, I feel that Daniel was not very grateful for what he was being offered, and that it's rude to refuse food that has been offered to you. He did not consider the time and effort that went into providing him with that food. These two readings have made me reflect upon my food choices and have made me realise that food is about so much more than just satisfying my appetite. There are cultural, health, and social aspects that we all need to consider when eating and offering food.
Shukla. Would you please rise and turn to page 484 in our prep?
Thank you.
And we read together, Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our Sovereign Lady Queen Elizabeth and all the royal family, for those who govern our country and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity. Eternal God, as you blessed our ancestors in generations past, bless now this congregation, its leaders and its members and all who enter this synagogue to meet, to study and to pray. Comfort the sorrowing hearts among us and heal those in anxiety or pain. May we all find here community and friendship, renewal of purpose and hope, a deeper understanding of our heritage and a sense of your abiding presence. Bless all congregations of the House of Israel throughout the world. Let those who live under oppressive rule soon be freed, and may we all unite to witness to your truth and do your will. And together, Eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbours, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision that out of Zion shall go forth Torah and the word of God from Jerusalem. And over the page, Yehallelu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado. We're going to go this way. I'm going to leave it to Louisa to decide whether you are indeed handsome, as Daniel was said to be. But certainly today we can say that you are intelligent, that you have wisdom within you, and most certainly that you are a dedicated Jew. The way that you conduct yourself within this community, whether it's in this sanctuary for our services, those of your friends having bar and bat mitzvah, the Cheder services, within your classroom, you hold yourself up as a fine example of a Jew. The way that you follow along, and I do watch all the children, so be careful, within a service
fills me with pride. It fills me with optimism and hope for the future as well. Not only, Benji, that you will be healthy, because I know that you are going to be healthy in body, but that actually you will play your part within this community as well, one which you have chosen to be a part of. So it is with deep satisfaction and great pride that I ask you within this sanctuary, God to bless you on the occasion of your bar mitzvah. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God look kindly upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may God reach out to you in tenderness and bring you peace. Amen. And now let's see if you can do a better job than Grandpa. Behold, a good doctrine has been given you. Do not forsake it. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast, and all who cling to it find happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its powers are peace. Okay. Please be seated. Mazel tov, everybody. Feel that industrial manufacturing processes meet art here in Ironbridge. So wrote my colleague Rabbi Daniela Tao, describing her experiences on holiday. The relationship between art and technology, entrepreneurship on one side, the lack of health and safety and social care on the other, is quite educational and impactful, despite the tile company making all employees partners, giving them 5% bonuses and setting up benefits society for illnesses. The paradox that struck me in particular is that this gorge in the 18th century would have been one of the most polluted parts of England, with its chimneys bellowing out all these poisonous gases, and being in a deep gorge, the unhealthy smoke wouldn't have escaped easily. Today, it is a beautiful landscape, lush green and very quiet. The other thing Daniela wrote was, it struck me that nearly all of the families involved were members of either the Quaker or Congregationalists. Before I entered rabbi school at Leo Beck College, I worked for 5 years with British Steel. I can attest to the awesome nature of the processes, the fireworks produced when a hot slab of iron met its first rollers to turn it into steel, the industrial artistry of the plants, the pride I felt in saying that I worked for British Steel, being part of the community, even though my uniform was a suit, not the overalls of the real workers. We were well looked after. The pension scheme was generous, and there was something religious in the whole enterprise. It was also exotic for a young lad. We supplied to Japanese car manufacturers, and I got to travel to Japan and Turkey and Spain, less salubrously perhaps to the northeast of England, to Derby and the metal presses of the West Midlands. I went to British Steel because of my socialist great-aunt Beryl, who romanticised for me the foundational nature of industry, a cornerstone of the economy, she said. It felt biblical, eternal. This week saw the collapse of British Steel Limited based in Scunthorpe. Not the part I knew in South Wales, but that I fear will inevitably not be so far behind. Glorifying an industry or culture is tempting, but does not secure the future of towns, communities, and families currently dependent on them. It is difficult to say that to a proud steelmaking community with world-class output and skills and a tradition going back centuries, who ask only that their country show some faith in their hard work and dedication. Once the cradle of the Industrial Revolution, the UK is now a bit part player in the global steel industry. There is no case that the trade is natural monopoly or a public service, states the editorial in The Independent this week, explaining why nationalisation is not an answer to the demise of the British steel industry. Perhaps this is boring you, and I apologise if it's a tad self-indulgent. However, my experience in British Steel was a gift. I would not have met and been exposed to the beauty and the plight of the legacy of great British industrialisation. A generation back, Dad could tell you about growing up in industrial Birmingham. But forward a generation, Benji and Louisa, and few of us have an inkling of the narrative of these regions of the country. They are not tourist destinations, and we are distanced from the mindset of communities reliant on the fortunes of industry. Ultimately, we do them a disservice if we prop them up. It is not eternal. Rather, we can show our gratitude to them by supporting their short-term survival needs and then attracting investment and retraining to employ what is a loyal and skillful workforce. This is a case of social justice that we should all be interested in. The ancient Israelite prophet Amos railed against his society with the words, "Because they have sold for silver those whose cause was just, and the needy for a pair of sandals. Are you who trample the heads of the poor into the dust of the ground, and make the humble walk a twisted course?" Change is inevitable in economies and therefore societies, but it is a social injustice when we do nothing to soften the blow. More locally, we are beginning to answer a social injustice this coming week. In the UK, over 10%, the European average is 4%, of our children live with severe food poverty. In other words, going hungry and experiencing adverse health outcomes. in schools where the majority of pupils are entitled to receive free school meals. Teachers are reporting that they are regularly observing hungry children, filling their pockets with any leftovers they can find, so that they have something to eat for their evening meal. Outside term times, holiday hunger is now widespread, and many are left relying on free meals offered by clubs and schemes run by local charities as their main source for food. Help end hungry holidays. This week we will be providing meals and activities for the children of Greenfields Primary School in South Oxley, just a stone throw away, where around 75% of the pupils receive free school meals in term time. We do not see this as social action work, although it may seem like it in the short term. Rather, it is to draw attention to the injustice of perverse food inequality through local government and national government. Assuming the scheme is helpful this half term, we will extend it to future school holidays and sincerely hope that you will volunteer and campaign to end this social ill. Benji, you have learned so much about food, its vital and religious characteristics. You have grown so much through this process. I do think Jewish children are privileged to have a bar bat mitzvah because it is a very special process. And you showed us just how you have grown this year. But please do not take your food for granted. Please always look around you in society. If this is the thing which moves you, then make sure that all children have something to eat. The prophet Amos states that the Torah's message is that being God-fearing necessarily means rising to the highest levels of morality and responsibility for social justice. May we play our part in the great British society. Amen. And if you would like to volunteer in this coming week or in times ahead, or want to know how you can address local MPs, then please do feel free to see me afterwards or contact Rabbi Leah. We now move to our concluding prayers that you can find on page 520. Page 520, and please rise when you're ready. Let us now praise the Sovereign of the universe and proclaim the greatness of its Creator, whose unity it is our mission to make known, whose rule it is our task to make effective. Va'anachnu koreim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim akadosh, akadosh, akadosh baruch. Spread out the heavens and establish the earth, whose glory fills the highest heavens, whose might extends throughout all space, who alone is our God, for no other exists, who in truth is our sovereign, for there is none else, as it is written. Know then this day and take it to heart. The Eternal One is your God in the heavens above and on the earth below. There is no other. Together, trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods will vanish from our hearts and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name let them give honor. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. For ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever. And it has been said, the eternal God shall rule over all the earth. On that day, the eternal God shall be one, and known to be one. It's hard to feel serene when our world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone. Yet in the emptiness their passing leaves behind, we are not alone. For we have the companionship of the living, and even our loved ones who have died live on in our hearts. For what they were is part of what we have become. And on this Shabbat we recall the yahrzeits of Maya Freed, the father of Raymond Freed, Maury Morris, the father of John Morris, Kurt Baginski, the father of William, Jenny Sass, the mother of Brian Sass, grandmother of Avril Whitty, Gerald Cohen, the uncle of Raymond Cohen, George Spegelstein, the grandfather of Sharon Goldstein and Phil Stone, and Albert Simons, the father of Adele Larkin, and grandfather to Emily and Izzy. We honour them best when we live as they would wish, responsibly and happily even in the shadow of our loss, and so draw closer to the source of life, in whom every life finds meaning, purpose, and hope, as we recite together on page 524. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrah chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei techol Beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Ehei shemei Rabbah mavarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ah v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'tada v'talei v'talal shemei d'kudashah brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Ehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imroma, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yal kol b'nei Adam, v'imru amen. May great peace descend from heaven, and abundant life be granted to us, to all Israel, to all humanity, and to all those who mourn. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. In a few moments, we conclude our service with the hymn which is across the page, and then invite you to come next door to say the blessings over the wine and bread. And then, as I said, if you'd like to come back in for Benji to show you the Torah, the scroll that he read from and what he did, then please do feel free to come back with us. For those who are interested in the congregation, we have a course starting with Cantor Tamara to be able to lane, that is the traditional chanting of the Torah. If you are interested, then please get in touch with her by the end of this month. For those who are interested in blowing the shofar, a ram's horn, which we blow on the Jewish New Year, then again, please do get in contact with Suki so that you can book your place on the program run by Carol Kettle, our fabulous shofar teacher. Also, please do take time to go into the community room. We have some fantastic books in there at the moment. A whole shelf of books relating to our twin congregations of Lviv and Lutsk in Ukraine, where I was last weekend with members of this community and the liberal community from Munich as well. And get to know these communities and then come with me, because it's an incredible experience, quite mind-blowing, immensely moving, and also inspiring to see Jews building up a new legacy within Western Ukraine. And also, if you like the written word, we have some wonderful volumes of poetry available at the moment. from biblical poetry through to modern Israeli, feminist poetry, the whole gamut. So please do go and spend a little bit of time, and feel free to take the books out. And as I said, if you would like to help us with our project at Greenfriars Primary School, then please do see me afterwards or be in contact with Rabbi Leah. But for now, Benji, you want to come up here, and we invite our president, Steve Herman, to make a presentation to you.
Benji, your Devar Torah reminded me of a story about a teacher asking 3 young children how they knew one was Anglican, one was Catholic, and one was Jewish. What were the symbols they had at home that told them? And the Anglican child said, well, we have a cross at home. And the Catholic child said, we have a crucifix at home. And the Jewish child said, we have smoked salmon and Bibles at home. But you make the point absolutely that kosher means fit for purpose. And my goodness me, were you perfectly fit for the purpose of your bar mitzvah today. Absolutely superb. And on behalf of the synagogue, I'd like to present you with a copy of our High Holy Day prayer book, which will keep you going during the High Holy Days, a card from the congregation to say congratulations. Well done. And here, this last thing is a voucher towards a youth trip to Israel in the near future. And what I'd like you to do when you get there, I want you to play picture bingo. Okay? I want you to, every time you see one of these animals that we can't eat, to do 2 things. One, to tick it off, and to remember today. Every time you see one of these, you'll remember today. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Keep having the badge.
Adon Olam, Hashem Alam, B'Terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa, V'Chetzo Kol, Azai Melech, Shemo Nikra, V'Acharei Kichlor HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora, V'Hu Haya, V'Hu Hoveh, V'Hu Yiyeh, V'Hu Yiyeh, B'Tifara. Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'Terem Kol, Yetzir Nivrach Li'et Nasach V'Chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'Acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora, V'Hu Haya, V'Hu Hoveh, V'Hu Yiyeh, B'Tifara. Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'Terem Kol, Yetzir Nivrach Li'et Nasach V'Chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'Acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora, V'Hu Haya, V'Hu Hoveh, B'Tifara. V'Hu Haya, V'Hu Hoveh, B'Tifara. V'Hu Haya, V'Hu Hoveh, B'Tifara. Please rise. V'Ado Afkidruchi, V'Eitishan V'Ayira, V'Imruchi Gviati Adonai Li V'Lo Ira. Into your hand we place our souls, asleep awake for you are near. With our souls, our bodies too. You are our gods, we shall not fear. Shabbat Shalom and Mazel Tov.